Eve in the garden. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Let love lead the way has been the message, has been the request. We consciously or subconsciously beg for this, to let love lead the way. If we think about the talks that we have in the Middle East, do you think love lead the way of those conversations? You see what I mean? Right? The conversation that we're having with North Korea, do you think love lead those conversations?
Egos
You know what I mean?
leading those conversations.
Right. Even some of the conversations we are having in our own household.
Right.
You think love lead the way?
Right.
We're not saying don't have the dialogue.
Right.
No, have the dialogue. Open communication. Hear, listen, speak, absorb,
Right.
Respect each other's input. Right. Exactly. We don't have to be right.
Right.
In order for it to be effective, right?
Meeting people where they are.
Right,
as
meeting
we
people where
said
they
in a
are.
couple
And we said that
episodes.
in one of the past podcasts, right? So letting love lead the way, I think, is just the formula in good stewardship,
Yeah.
And all of our possibilities. Because as we have great possibilities.
We do.
What is it that we want to teach our young kids? That you have great possibilities.
Right.
Now, what are you going to do with it?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, when you were, you were talking about these pieces about, healing and health. I mean, all of this leads towards a greater purpose. Because at the end of the day, it's not about, well, you drive this and you lived here and, oh man, you had all this money and, oh, you've done this, you've flown there and da-da-da-da-da. That's all well and good.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be about, and especially if you're called to be one of those people that can teach, that can lead, that can do these things to build people up. If you didn't harness that and then push that outward,
right?
If you didn't do anything with your gifts, it means absolutely nothing.
Right. Right.
To life. And so those are the things that we're trying to tap into here today, and in this series, in this two-parter, which is, where are you going? What if you learn? And what are you going to teach? And I think we said that in our kickoff episode. Because it doesn't mean you can be the best, the brightest. But if you're not sharing those gifts and those talents, and if you're not learning from your experiences and doing better, because that's you'll hear some themes here, indexing better. And
Stephanie.
So that for me, we've got to do those things.
Right. Yeah.
Or we'll be a broken society, man.
Absolutely. One of our great spiritual leaders asked a man a question. He says, "What do you do?" And the man started listing his resume. Here's what I do for work, and so on and so on, and I'm very successful. And the spiritual teacher said, "No, not what do you do for money?
Yeah.
What do you do for the world?"
Right.
That.
Shut him up, didn't it?
Look, that topples everything. So there again, I'm going to put the challenge out there to our listeners and say, before you walk out of your door, every day.
Not every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Right. Before you walk out of your door every day, on the way to your job, on the way to your career, on the way to wherever you're going to do what you do to feed your face. I'm going to challenge you to ask yourself, what
feed your face.
What am I going to do for me? And then ask yourself, what am I going to do for the world? Before you step out the door, if you ask yourself, what can I do for the world today?
Right. And doesn't it just make it more interesting?
Every day.
More fulfilling now.
Right? Because you're going to show up at the job.
Yeah.
You're going to punch in.
Right.
You're going to do what you've been trained to do. You're going to do what you're passionate about doing. You're going to meet the quota. You're going to get it done.
So what else?
But then if you ask yourself, that doesn't necessarily offer anything to the world. So if you ask yourself that two-part question, what am I going to do for myself, my account, my family, my mouth, my pocket, my whatever?
That's all fine.
And then ask yourself, and what am I going to do for the world today? Just think, there are 8 billion people on the planet. Think if half of those people asked themselves that question.
Right.
What can I do for the world? What am I going to do for the world today?
It'd be such a beautiful society, and it'll reverberate. It's kind of like paying it forward.
Change the paradigm
to infinity.
It would shift the paradigm
completely.
Yes,
completely
in seconds. And now this is, Steph, this is something that we're talking about that we can actually do.
I think so. Yeah.
This is not some science fiction thing,
nope.
Somewhere in Universal Studios.
Right.
This is something you and I can do every day.
And again, I mean, this podcast is, it's really tailored on practical applications for your daily life.
Absolutely.
Practical applications, something that you can do that's well within your toolbox to pull out and say, okay, you know what? This is what I'm going to do today.
Absolutely.
And I think isn't it so funny that some of the most basic things are the hardest to do sometimes?
Yes. Right.
Because it goes back to one of those other things that you could just add on the index of just, sayings, which is change the things that you can change today and not necessarily worry about the things that you can't. Like, I can't worry about what's going on, in the White House.
Right.
He's going to change the tax plan. He's going to change the tax plan. Yeah. My mortgage deduction is probably going to be much less than it was. But okay. Well, what can I do today to change?
To the best of your ability.
To the best of my ability, change what's happening in my neighborhood, my neighbor directly across the street.
Yeah.
What can I do to maybe push the envelope just a little bit more within the confines of maybe my job? Maybe took more calls if you're working in customer service. Help some more people out. If you don't have a project or if you don't go into the community, there are actually things that you can do to color just a little bit outside the lines. I'm not trying to get anybody fired out there, but that you could actually help more people within the confines of your everyday work. Start there.
And we said before, to maximize your possibilities of your gifts, right? Your greatest potential, right? So if I have the potential to heal 3 people in a day, not just myself, then why would I not maximize that potential? Right? I don't know. I can do enough destructive or sabotaging self-talk.
Right.
I can talk. We can talk ourselves in or out of anything.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
We can talk ourselves into anything.
Yeah.
I don't care how goofy it is. We can talk ourselves out of anything. Doesn't matter how necessary and relevant it is.
Can I just say this? In the last couple of weeks, and I can tell you, I have been doing a lot of self-talk. Self-talk. Just thinking about scenarios, thinking before I speak, thinking about, okay, well, someone said this and this happened here or there, and I just sit and I literally take 48 hours.
Right.
I mean, I'm doing other things. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to work. I'm eating. I'm sleeping. I'm doing the things I need to do. But seriously, throughout the day, and maybe that's crazy. Maybe I'll get it in 24, maybe 8.
Right.
But I'm literally training myself to think. To think through a scenario in great detail, to actually spiral my mind out of the negative thought that I had about the situation. And it's so powerful. It really is. To just sit there for a minute.
Yeah.
And the mind is a powerful thing, and you're absolutely right. You can literally talk yourself into a situation or out of a situation for good or bad.
Right.
And the mind is so powerful that it can literally drum up things that aren't necessarily there or going on. So it all goes back to, our part 1 of this 2-parter, which is the mind and the mental readiness is just as equally as important, if not more important, than the action.
Absolutely.
So it's
right. Yeah, because imagine if an engineer would just bring in cranes and start throwing, metal and iron and beams together to build a bridge and not made one plan. No steps of readiness.
Right.
No, nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. That readiness happens before surgeries, before engineering, before, anything in the, in the space program, anything. It doesn't matter.
Right.
In the kitchen. You don't just go in and start throwing stuff, on the fire.
Right.
No, there's some
prep.
readiness.
Right.
You see what I mean? So for us to say, I have a better vision of where I'm going, and to give myself the best percentage of opportunity for success, I know that a certain degree of readiness. That's a given, right?
That's right.
So here's what I want to just kind of mention just for a second is when we talk about our life being indexed. Now, I'm going to assume there's more than one element in an index.
Yes.
Right? You know what I mean?
Right.
So when we start talking about our life being indexed or structured with some degree of intentional organization, you know what I mean, or planning, our desire to go to do as best we can to our greatest ability, right? So we say, well, yeah, but that'll do, right? How many things in a day, like you were just mentioning at work, when we go, oh, well, yeah, that'll do. That's enough. That met my quota. I'm good. Yeah, but you can help 5 more people. Yeah, but that'll do it. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right? What if we operate on the mentality of that'll do will never do? Because that's not our greatest possibility.
Right.
That's not our greatest potential, right? So let's just say every day we stepped out the door to give all that we could possibly give that day.
Right.
To ourselves, to others, to the world, to whatever. Now, I would say we can learn a lot from our environment.
Right.
But hey, we think we know it all because we're at the top of the brain food chain, are we not?
Chain. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're at the top
are
of
the
the intelligence.
beings.
Exactly. So with that in mind, we constantly tell ourselves, we constantly tell ourselves, well, no, we know everything we need to know, But if we say, what can I learn from my environment? Now, when I say environment, I don't necessarily mean your indoor environment.
Right.
I'm talking about your outdoor environment. If we are more woke, right? If we're more aware of everything around us, there's so much available for us to learn.
Much available. Yeah.
Okay, let's just say a tree. Now, I know it. I can ask any person, are you smarter than a tree?
Of course.
Well, of course. Why are you asking me such a, right? Such a rhetorical question, right? Of course I'm smarter than a tree. Okay, but a tree only knows how to grow its roots into the ground as far as it possibly can.
Right.
A tree does not even entertain, that'll do.
Right. Deep
and wide. As far as they
That's right.
possibly can.
That's right.
Because the tree has the brilliance to know one day a wind is going to come along.
That's right. Right.
When? I don't
a good
know.
analogy.
And frankly, Scarlett,
Don't give a darn.
I don't care, right?
Right.
Because it from birth of the seed, the tree mission is to grow its roots into the ground as deeply and as widely as possible.
That's right.
Then it grows the branches out as far as they possibly can within the DNA possibilities of that style of tree, that breed of tree. It's going to grow branches out
they keep.
That's right, as far as their ability will allow them.
That's right. Yep.
They don't entertain the concept of, that'll do. No, that won't do. Do I have the ability within my structured DNA to do more? They just do it.
Right.
To grow as many leaves on those branches as they possibly can. That means a tree only knows how to live to its greatest potential.
That's right.
Maybe we have something to learn here.
I would think
I'm
so.
just saying, right?
So are you suggesting that
Yes, I am.
we are not the smartest species on this here planet?
That we have so much to learn from something as simple as a tree. Right? So when we're indexing our life, what in that index do we acknowledge as light? You know what I mean? And health. And vision and purpose. What's in there in that index when we're looking at the things, the way we're laying our life out, we lean towards what?
Right.
A plant. If you had a plant in your house, and wherever your window is,
it
the
leans
tree leans towards
the light.
the light.
Yes, it does.
Towards the